Hello, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight is another When You Only Have Half an Hour video. I had no time, which is why my video is a day late, so I thought I would pop into my office today and have a play and then share it with you because it took me no time at all because I had no time. So I've got these alcohol inks, which I have been kind of buying over the past year and a half, trying to psych myself up to doing a video with you. I've got the cheap ones and I've got a couple of the expensive normal branded Tim Holtz ones. So these ones here are from AliExpress. They're the pearlescent ones. You'll see them in a minute and how they work. I've got some alcohol blending solution. And I've got these colors here, which I bought from Amazon. And I'll put that link down below. I'll link every single thing I can down below for you. These are actually meant for resin making, so when you do some resin crafts, but they are alcohol-based inks, so that's all you're looking for, and that's what I'm going to use today. They work brilliantly. I don't have any of the branded Tim Holtz kind of things in just plain colors, so I'm only using these, and they were nice and cheap. I think I paid even less than $15.99 on the screen. I think I got it when there was a voucher on for them. There's lots, just shop around. And I'm going to use photo paper. I wanted to try photo paper before trying Yupo paper because Yupo paper is so expensive. So I'm just using photo paper, dirt cheap alcohol inks, and either the blending solution or isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol. So all I'm doing here is I'm just randomly plopping down drops. As you can see, my mat is already dirty because I did one and my camera wasn't in focus. So this is actually my second one that I'm doing. It takes no time at all. I'm just kind of squirting them down. You got to cut them open when you start, which is why I'm getting completely covered. My hands are covered because it kept kind of exploding as I cut them open. So I had to make sure I had the rag around it. This is the alcohol pearls. Now, as a word of warning, this all rubs off. So you'll see when we get to the end and it dries, it rubs off. This little doodad here is just like a little air blower. So you could put a pen in it and you can kind of make little drops. It's from my Stampin' Up! Days ages ago. But I was thinking you could use a turkey baster. That blows air. Why not use that? Or a straw in your mouth. Would probably be a little bit less silly than a turkey baster. But anyways, I am just plopping down the ink and having lots of fun. I was really nervous about doing this because I've never done it before, and I'm so pleased I did. Now, to get it off my silicone mat, which I should never have used because it totally stained it, I use a bit of alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, just to kind of wipe it off. Now, I will have these stains permanently, so I've gone and ordered myself a glass chopping mat for £5 from one of our local shops. And I'm going to use that for all my future alcohol ink projects. I just didn't even think about that when I went to use my super awesome silicone mat. I just didn't want my card slipping around. But that was a bit silly. So again, here's the photo paper and I'm just doing swirlies and then I am trying the white. Now, the white wasn't so good. For whatever reason, I shook it tons, but it kept coming out a little bit chunky. So it kept getting blobbies and then I was having to shake it, squirt it and get some more blobbies. But the white did stay. It didn't rub off in the end. But I was trying to see if I could make my alcohol inks a bit more creamy and pastel colored, but it didn't really work. But it was fun anyways. This is the thing, is if I don't play with it, I don't have a clue what's going to happen, but I thought I'd share it with you anyway, so if you decide to have a play, you have a word of warning of what's going to happen. This is me trying to blend it. Now, I think because I'm using photo paper, not Yupo paper, it does set into the paper or the cardstock a bit more than it probably would on Yupo paper. And I did use some Yupo paper just to try out the Tim Holtz metallic inks, to kind of show you a comparison, which you'll see in a minute anyways. So this is all I'm doing to make my little backgrounds, is just using alcohol and photo paper, keeping it as cheap as possible and trying to enjoy myself. So I am covered. My mat is covered. My silicone mat's a bit ruined, but who cares? So here's this gorgeous one. This is one I did off camera when it didn't focus. And look at it, it just rubs right off. All the metallic just comes straight off. So not a good option. I'll link those probably, or I might not even link them because they don't really work. This one, you could see a little bit of the edge once I rubbed it off. You could see some of it did stick. So I kind of want to play with them a bit more and see if I can figure out a way to make those metallic ones stick. Here's the Yupo paper, which is so expensive, and the Tim Holtz alloy sort of metallic ones, and that didn't come off at all. I even rubbed it with cloth. barely budged. So those ones are probably worth the money, the metallic range. But again, the Yupo paper does look a lot prettier. It doesn't stick in one position so much, but I'm more than content with my photo paper and how cheap it is. I think it worked a dream. So I'm going to do 2 cards and share them with you, because if I hadn't done all the extra backgrounds, if I'd just done this one background, I'd be looking at probably 15 minutes to half an hour tops. I took a little bit over that because I was in and out the house dealing with kids. But all I'm doing is cutting strips. These were 1 3/4 inch strips, and then I cut 2-inch strips for going behind them. However, I do change my mind and I do go a bit bigger. I think it was, or maybe it was 1.5. Anyways, I just cut a chunk of strip that I liked that would go in the middle of my card. I've got these 2 stamp sets here from Alina Crafts, and I think the one on the right is still on offer with a discount code, so I'll put that in the drop box if it is available. She gave me a discount code to give to you. And I'm using those because they have really nice, cute little flowers on stems that fit this little panel perfectly. Now, I did trial run my ink. This is the VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I did trial it on the corner of one of my sheets. Look, I stamped off. So terrible. And it dries quick and it is permanent, so it doesn't shift. I didn't have to use StazOn or anything expensive and smelly. I just used my normal ink and it worked brilliantly. Took about 5 minutes to dry. Really, really awesome. On the photo paper, that is. So this looks awesome. I love the look of it. I love the black popping out. This is another one from Alina Crafts. This is like a starburst or sunshine. Now, my little bit of paper wasn't working for me, and that's why I wasn't getting my good stamped images, because the paper I put underneath to kind of catch my bits that went off the cards was making my little panel pop up, and I wasn't getting a nice clear stamp. And then the photo paper is slightly sticking to the stamps because it's got that kind of texture where it kind of suctions to it. So I put a little bit of tape down and stuck it directly onto my work surface, and I can just wipe up this with water and a cloth, so it doesn't matter. But that gave me a beautiful result and a much clearer, less kind of smudged one where I ended up not getting the ink fully on. So you can see this has been sat there for 5 minutes. It's completely dry apart from that one little bit which I pointed out. So if you tilt it on the side, you can see where it's a little bit damp, and then just avoid using it until it's completely dry, or avoid touching that area. So this is where I went and cut myself a little bit bigger of a panel to go around the back. I like the look of having the panel at the top and the bottom, but not on the sides. So I just kind of made the sides or the width the same, and then the top and bottom have a little border. Now, this is where I was so excited, because I have so many of these stamp sets where you get like this really awesome big phrase or big sentiment, some big bunch of words. And I've got tons of sentiment strips and tons of sentiment dies. But I wanted a card where I could have a proper, awesome, big phrase to go on the front. And this is the card for that. This is where you can use up those stamps that you've got kicking around with the huge sentiments or the big bunch of words. And this works a treat. So now all I'm going to do is glue my little panel down onto my card. I used my stamp platform to stamp that bottom sentiment because I didn't want those words to go at all wonky. So I just did it with that to make sure that I got a nice clear image. And that's all. I'm just sticking my panels down with those nice, gorgeous, big sentiments, and it looks fantastic. Now, you can add a little bit more if you want. You could add some bling in. You could add possibly some gel pens. If you've got some glitter gel pens, they might work. I'm not quite sure. I haven't tried that. But I went for my gems, colored them in black, so they kind of stuck with the theme. I'm doing the bright color, but everything else is black and white. So I'm coloring in my gems with my black permanent marker. These are the Arteza permanent pens. They're my favorite ones. They don't seem to ever dry out on me. And then I'm just doing the biggest ones and plonking them right in the middle of those sort of starburst, sunburst things. And that's it. It's so awesome. It's so quick and easy. I had so much fun that I'm itching to get back in there. Do make sure you keep your doors and windows open when you do it, because the alcohol inks are so smelly. And I don't know if they'll give you a headache or not, but I had my doors open, fan on. I had myself a great time with these. So thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night for some Saturday night crafting. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.